The Volquest 2-Minute Drill is brought to you by Craven Wings.
Welcome to the Volquest.com 2-Minute Drill presented by our good friends at Craven Wings. We want to welcome Craven Wings to the Volquest family. Thanks for all they do. You know a little bit about Craven Wings, don't you?
Absolutely. Need the lemon pepper and the onion rings.
Lemon pepper and onion rings. They got 2 locations in Knoxville to serve you more on the way. That's Craven Wings. Again, we thank them for being a part of the Volquest family. Let's talk about Tennessee's football family. Ben McKee on the practice field today. We got a chance to visit with Brian Jean-Marie. We got a chance to visit with 4 defensive players. Let's talk practice field. What's your takeaway from this morning?
The offensive line and the intensity being pretty high on day 3. Had some guys not afraid to shy away from one another. And what I took away from that wasn't necessarily the guys getting after it, but Jerome Carvin stepping up, being very vocal. It's kind of a running joke amongst the media that Jerome Carvin is Mr. Positive. Never heard him say a negative thing in his life, and that was a situation where it didn't seem like he was hesitant at all to step up and really be a leader and kind of calm things down. Dane Davis stepped in, Cooper Mays stepped in, so that was kind of my takeaway from the practice field this morning. I kept an eye on the offensive line today.
Yeah, and it's good. That battle for left tackle is starting to heat up, and you know there's some guys who are trying to win some spots, and you know some urgency there. We'll see how that all shakes out with that group. A lot of pass protection work for the running backs today. A lot of downfield blocking work for the wide receivers today. First aid and shoulder pads, getting closer to that scrimmage. Tennessee will scrimmage next week. One injury note, Kamal Hadden not on the practice field today. Really tough break for him. We'll see how long he's going to be out. He was a pretty heavy elbow brace yesterday. Carrying himself much different on the practice field the last couple of days. Tennessee needs him out there because I think he's going to end up being one of their starters.
I agree. I think that could be a significant loss. If it is significant, we don't know yet. But I penciled Kamal Hadden in as one of my starting corners, and I know it was day 1, day 2, but he had a different energy to him those first couple of days of camp this week, and he and Warren Burrell looked like they had a sense of urgency to them, trying to prove themselves. It's a money year for them in a sense, as veterans, not only trying to earn a job, but their goals are to go play professional football, and this year is critical for that.
Certainly is. All right, let's turn it to the podium and meeting the media. Brian Jean-Marie, very positive. He always is. Everybody in his room is getting off to a great start in fall camp. But the fact is there's everybody. There's more bodies in that room, and that's probably the biggest thing going for the linebackers right now, isn't it?
Right, and I really am curious to see if guys that were already here are going to take steps forward. Juwan Mitchell, a lot of praise for him these first couple of days. Brian Jean-Marie said he's as healthy as he's been in 2 years, dating back to Texas, now that he's had some surgeries to clean things up. And he has athleticism and a skill set. Hopefully he can help contribute. Aaron Beasley, Brian Jean-Marie talked about how the pads came on today, and he stood out. He flashed at times. Jeremy Banks, he's an all-SEC caliber linebacker. The 2 freshmen are really receiving praise, talking about how Caleb Perry's one of the top 10% athletes on the team, and Elijah Herring is a guy that you forget that he's a true freshman. He looks like he's 25, and he certainly does. So I'm very intrigued to see if that linebacker room really does take a step forward this season.
Well, and for me, a step forward that group is, can they play more than 2 guys?
Yeah.
You know, can they play more depth? I mean, they played 3 a year ago, just a high volume of snaps. And Brian Jean-Marie admitted they ran out of gas late in games. That was a factor for some third down conversions they gave up as well. The other takeaway for me from players today was Tyler Barron, just admitting his buy-in this summer, which we've heard has been different. He admits it's been different, that he's kind of gave in a little bit to some of Rodney Garner's ways of how he wants to do things. Sounds like he's in a different place mentally as he goes on the opposite side of Byron Young on the defensive line.
Yeah, he completely credited Rodney Garner for that, said that he finally took in what he was preaching, and he's just completely bought into Rodney Garner, and because of that, Tyler Barron has matured. And that was kind of the constant theme in talking to DeJoun Terry, Latrell Bumpus. I get a kick out of whenever they're asked about Rodney Garner, they all chuckle initially because of his coaching style, but it's a consistent theme of they love that hard coaching, and they know that Rodney Garner just has their best interest at heart.
It certainly does. There's some depth there. We'll see how that grows with Latrell Bumpus. It says he's as healthy as he's been. He's going to play some in, going to play inside in some pass rush situations. So a little more versatility maybe for that defensive line if they can stay healthy, getting closer and closer to full pads, getting closer and closer to that first scrimmage. That's going to do it for this edition of the 2-Minute Drill. He is Ben McKee. I'm Brent Hubbs, Volquest.com.
When you're craving wings, it's got to be Craven Wings. Online at cravenwings.com.